Most unusual tribes in the world offer a fascinating glimpse into cultures whose traditions and lifestyles defy convention, revealing the remarkable ways. From isolated rainforests to distant deserts, these communities defy conventional norms with their distinct traditions, beliefs, and ways of life. Prepare to be fascinated by the captivating stories, customs, and rituals that set these tribes apart, offering a glimpse into the incredible diversity of human culture and resilience in the face of change. The Kurdish family. There are a few unusual tribes that are not isolated tribes, but also uncontacted peoples. In a remote village in the Turkish province of Hatay, hidden from the rest of the world, lives an unusual family. It consists of a father, a mother, and 19 children. But 5 of those children stand out from the rest. The reason? This mysterious tribe walks on both their feet and hands. For years, only a handful of scientists knew about this strangest tribe family. But that changed in 2006, when cameras were allowed in the isolated village and the entire world got to meet the hidden people. The Ulas family is of Kurdish origin and lives in a rural village north of the Turkey-Syria border. The father, Resit, mother, Hatis, and 14 of their 19 children walk upright. But 5 of the offspring have never walked on only 2 feet. They are the only documented cases of adults who bear crawl, walk on their feet and hands of their palms while their fingers touch the ground, just in some cases. Mursi tribe from Ethiopia. Mursi, or Musu, or Moon, as they refer to themselves, are a Nilotic pastoralist ethnic group in Ethiopia. The men practiced light scarification on their shoulders after killing an enemy, and shaved geometric patterns on their heads. During dances and ceremonies, they adorn literally every part of their body with white chalk paint. Young, unmarried men practice group stick fights. The winner is carried on top of poles to girls waiting beside the arena, who decide among themselves which of them will ask his hand in marriage. When a young Mursi girl reaches the age of 15 or 16, her lower lip is pierced so she can wear a lip plate. The unique ornament that they use is absolutely unusual, even for wild people. The matter is that the lower lip of this tribe's girls is cut at an early age. They begin to put into the lip the billets of wood, every time with a bigger and bigger diameter. Nigeria's hyena people. They call it magic. Protected by potions, charms, and amulets, an offbeat urban tribe in Nigeria entertains audiences with daring feats, which they perform with hyenas, poisonous snakes, and baboons. Predominantly comprised of Hausa people, they move from city to city, gathering large crowds wherever they go. The men are from the rural farmlands of northern Nigeria, where they catch the hyena pups, baboons, and snakes in the wild. In one documentary, the camera crew follows them into a cave to steal hyena pups from a den. They then train them and take them to the city to perform in their street circus. It's said they use ancient magic to bring wild animals under their control. There are also rumors they have supernatural powers, and some even believe they're part hyena. The job the hyena men do is a tradition handed down to them from their forebears, a custom they too pass down to their children. From a very young age, they give their children concoctions to drink and put them in close quarters with the snakes, baboons, and hyenas. This is done to familiarize them with the animals and lose all fear of them. The Tukuna tribe. The Tukuna are the most numerous people in Brazilian Amazonia. Following a recent history shaped by the violent invasion of rubber tappers, fishermen, and loggers in the Solimões River region, it was only in the 1990s that Tukuna gained official recognition for the majority of their lands. Today, they face the challenge of guaranteeing their economic and environmental sustainability, enhancing their relations with the surrounding society while maintaining the vivacity of their extremely rich culture. Not by chance, the masks, designs, and paintings of these people have achieved international recognition. The Tukuna cultivate native species such as manioc, yam, a species of sugarcane, and other root crops. Formerly, when the diet was based on game meat, fishing had minimal importance and was practiced using the technology of barriers and fish poisoning based on timbo juice. The Kayan. The Kayan are a subgroup of Red Karen, a Tibeto-Burman ethnic minority of Myanmar. Most of them are Kayan Lawi, the group in which women wear the brass neck coils. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, due to conflict with the military regime in Myanmar, many Kayan tribes fled to the Thai border area. Women of this unusual tribe identify themselves by their forms of dress. Women of the Kayan Lawi tribe are well known for wearing neck rings and brass coils that are placed around the neck, appearing to lengthen it. The women wearing these coils are known as giraffe women to tourists. Girls first start to wear rings when they are around 5 years old. One fact about this strange tribe is that over the years, the coil is replaced by a longer one and more turns are added. The Totobeagosidae. The Inter-American Commission on Human Rights has urged Paraguay to stop illegal deforestation in the Ayorreo Totobeagosidae, an ancestral territory in the Chaco Forest that's home to the last uncontacted indigenous tribes south of the Amazon basin. Totobeagosidaes, who are considered the most mysterious tribes of all the Ayorreo groups, have lived in the Paraguayan Chaco for over half a century. This uncontacted tribe first came into contact with outsiders in the 1940s and 1950s, according to Latin Correspondent, when Mennonite farmers sought to develop colonies on Ayorreo land. A few decades later, the controversial fundamentalist New Tribes Mission helped force the Totobeagosidaes from their land. According to Survival International, one of the biggest threats still facing the Ayorreo Totobeagosidae today is the Brazilian company Jaguareta Pora, which is planning to deforest most of the land to make way for a cattle ranch. This mysterious event has an enormous impact on the Ayorreo Totobeagosidae's way of life and ability to survive in that region. We just hope that this not-so-dangerous tribe becomes a lost tribe. The Masho Piru. You may hear about the mysterious tribe on North Sentinel Island. This strangest tribe vigorously rejects all contact with outsiders. But now, I am going to tell you about another Stone Age tribe which you don't want to meet. The ultimate fact is this mysterious tribe is also considered one of the most dangerous tribes for the fear that they might spread disease to the neighboring village as they did not grow immunity. The Masho Piru, or Masho Piru, also known as the Curajeño people and Nomole, are indigenous tribes of nomadic hunter-gatherers who inhabit the remote regions of the Amazon rainforest. They live in Manu National Park in the Madre de Dios region in Peru. They have, in the past, actively avoided contact with non-native peoples. In 1894, most of the Masho Piru tribe was by the private army of Carlos Fitzcarraldo in the upper Manu River area. The survivors retreated to the remote forest areas. The sightings of the Masho Piru tribe members increased in the 21st century. According to anthropologist Glenn Shepard, who had an encounter with the Masho Piru in 1999, the increased sightings of the tribe could be due to illegal logging in the area and low-flying aircraft associated with oil and gas exploration. In August 2013, the BBC reported that a group of Masho Pirus had been seen asking neighboring villagers for food. Airulas of South India. Airula, also known as Airuliga, is a Dravidian ethnic group inhabiting the Indian states of Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and Karnataka. A scheduled tribe, their population in this region is estimated at around 200,000 people. Traditionally, the main occupation of the Airulas has been a snake, rat catching, and honey collection. They also work as laborers in the fields of the landlords during the sowing and harvesting seasons or in the rice mills. Fishing and cattle farm is also a major occupation. Rats destroy a quarter of the grain grown in Tamil Nadu area farms annually. To combat this pest, Airula men use a traditional earthen pot fumigation method. Smoke is blown through their mouths, which leads to severe respiratory and heart problems. In January 2017, Masai Sadayan and Vadivel Gopal from the Airula tribe of Tamil Nadu were brought in, along with 2 translators, to work with detection dogs to track down and capture invasive Burmese pythons in Key Largo, Florida. The Irula men and their translators were paid $70,000 by the state of Florida and captured 14 pythons in less than 2 weeks. Satare Mawe Tribe. They call themselves Satare Mawe. The first word, Satare, means burning caterpillar, a reference to their society's most important clan, which traditionally appoints the group's political chief's successor. The second word, Mawe, means intelligent and curious parrot, and is not a clan designation. The Satare Mawe is organized under the authority of the chief of the extensive family, who lives in his sitio together with his children's and grandchildren's families. He directs and organizes his sons and sons-in-law's economic activities and the site's agricultural production. As well, he determines who to request help when needed. This can include hunting and fishing expeditions, as well as the roasting of manioc in order to provide food for the participants in the collective activities. As per the Satare Mawe origin myth, they consider themselves to be the inventors of Guarania culture. Native to the highlands of Mauesaku River Basin, the plant is located precisely within the Satare Mawe traditional territory, justifying this historical belief of the tribe being the children of Guarania. Extreme tattoos. As far back as the old men and women can remember, tattooing has been a tribal custom of the coastal peoples of Papua New Guinea. Among the Motu, Waima, Aroma, Hula, Makeo, Maiulu, and other related southwestern groups, women were heavily tattooed from head to toe, while men displayed chest markings related to their exploits in the head hunt. Tattoos are generally inked upon women in fixed order among all coastal Papuans. Many of the tattoo motifs were passed down through the family, from mother to daughter, and sometimes from father to son. Girls between 7 and 8 were tattooed on the face and lower abdomen, the vulva, and up to the navel, then the waist down to the knees and the outside of the thighs. At 10, the armpits and areas extending to the nipples were tattooed with the throat done shortly thereafter. Cattle Jumping Hamer Tribe. An impressive display of courage, skill, and athleticism, the bull jumping ceremony is a centuries-old rite of passage for young men in Hamer tradition. The Hamer are a tribal community living in the lower Omo Valley of Ethiopia. On the day of the ceremony, there is plenty of celebrating. Women dance in traditional dress, playing horns with their legs draped in bells, drinking home-brewed sorghum beer. Depending on the social status of the family, somewhere between 100 and 300 people are likely to attend. Before the ceremony, the female relatives of the young man go to meet the Maza, men who have just passed the bull jumping ceremony and who temporarily live apart from the rest of the tribe. They demand to be whipped by these men as a way of showing their dedication and loyalty toward their male relatives. The idea here is to create a strong bond and obligation between them. As they have undergone such pain so stoically on his behalf, he should feel a debt to protect them going into the future. This also signals their attractiveness as future wives, and it becomes a kind of competition, with women refusing to back down and vowing to each endure the most pain. Sudanese Latika Tribe. This dangerous tribe has a few mysterious videos you won't believe exist. They are the most unusual tribe in the world. While in other parts of the world, a man must first woo and secure the consent of a lady he is attracted to and wants to marry, and then proceed to get her parents' consent, the practice is different in Latuka, South Sudan. Per their culture and traditions, a suitor must kidnap a lady he intends to marry by employing the services of other men together with whom he will lay an ambush for, chase, and arrest the lady. The captured lady is then taken to her suitor's home, where she is kept against her will before the man informs her father later. As if all those are not interesting enough, the lady's father must beat up his son-in-law to show that he approves of his intended marriage to his daughter. It is unsure how intense or extensive the beatings take, but when a woman is spotted by a man and is kidnapped, it takes away her choice and right to make an input into which man she spends the rest of her life with. After kidnapping the girl, her suitor returns to her family with elderly male relatives to officially ask for her hand in marriage. Maasai Tribe. Spitting at someone in most cultures around the world is seen as rude or uncivilized, but not for the Maasai people who live in Kenya and northern Tanzania. For these people, spitting is a sign of respect. It is done to greet each other, to welcome or bid farewell to a friend, to clinch a bargain, and to wish someone good luck. When greeting, they spit in their palms before shaking hands. Parents, friends, and family members spit on newborn babies in order to wish them good luck and long life. It is documented that during Maasai weddings, a father blesses his daughter by spitting on her forehead and breasts. Now occupying a much smaller area in the Kajiado and Narok districts, since their vast territory has been taken over by some of Kenya's game reserves, the Maasai is one of the most popular and unique African tribes due to their long-preserved culture. Accounting for only about 0.7% of Kenya's population, with a similar number in Tanzania, the Maasai are considered to be one of East Africa's most internationally well-known tourist attractions. Duka, the Mongolia tribe. For thousands of years, the Tassatan people, also known as the Duka, have lived in the remote, deep forests and tundras of northern Mongolia. Numbering only around 300 people, they are considered to be one of the smallest ethnic minorities in the world. Moving from pasture to pasture every 7 to 10 weeks, this tiny community of nomadic reindeer herders is one of the few remaining tribes of its kind. The Duka and their reindeer have an incredible symbiotic relationship, each dependent on the other for survival. Without the reindeer, the Duka could never survive in the taiga, and without the Duka, the reindeer would die off at the paws of wolves. During the day, families hang out together drinking tea and tending to different household tasks, such as making yogurt, cheese, and bread, hunting for meat, or gathering berries from the woods. In the evening, Duka families go out to get the reindeer from their grazing area and herd them back to camp, where they are tethered for the night. After dinner, they will do a final night check of the reindeer before going to bed. Pocket Tribe. In the vast jungles of Africa, a tribe that claims to be sons of the forest lives in seclusion. Their civilization has always stayed in the ignorant state of old age. Forest is their only belief. They are the pygmies, the masters of the tropical jungle. The dangers faced by living in the forest can be imagined. Without a strong physique and a strong body, let alone hunting, survival is very difficult. Interestingly, the pygmies are very short. They are close to maturity when they are 8 years old, stop growing, get married, and have children. Their height is generally between 1.2 meters and 1.4 meters, but this group of shorts has a custom. When they are adults, they need to hunt elephants as a rite of passage. Pygmies live in the jungle. They don't grow any food. They live by picking wild fruits and hunting prey. They live in small thatched houses built with banana leaves or palm branches. They have no concept of numbers and time. All behaviors are very primitive. Eskimos tribe. The Inuit, or Eskimos, are indigenous people who live in the Arctic regions from Alaska to Siberia. DNA evidence suggests that the present-day Inuit descended from the Thule, a group thought to have migrated to the Arctic around the year 1000. Archaeologists found that the Thule culture developed along the Alaskan coast and moved east towards Canada and Greenland. Many Inuit traditions and customs have developed over thousands of years and include extensive oral history and storytelling traditions. The Inuit pass stories from one generation to another as a way to preserve their culture. Many Inuit ceremonies consist of singing and dancing. Some dances were religious and others were celebratory. Experts have found that the Inuit diet has not undergone drastic changes over the centuries. Inuit people were hunters that adapted to their environment, available resources, and climate. They hunt based on the seasonal availability of various plants and animals. Huli Wigman tribe. The Huli are indigenous people who live in the Hela province of Papua New Guinea. They speak mainly Huli or talk Pisan. Many also speak some of the surrounding languages, and some also speak English. They are one of the largest cultural groups in Papua New Guinea, numbering over 250,000 people. In the era before the Australian administration, when warfare between clans was the dominant orientation of the Huli society, War disputes precipitated approximately 12% of all compensation cases. Most boys dreamed of becoming great warriors and prepared themselves for that role from the age of 12, when they first learned to use a bow and arrow. There is every indication the Huli have lived in their region for many thousands of years and recount lengthy oral histories relating to individuals and their clans. They were extensive travelers in both the highlands and lowlands surrounding their homeland. The Huli were not known to Europeans until November 1934, when at least 50 of them were killed by the Fox brothers, two adventurers unsuccessfully looking for gold who had just parted with the more famous explorers Mick and Dan Leahy. Fulani Tribe. The Fulani tribe is one of the largest ethnic groups in the Sahel and West Africa, widely dispersed across the region. Inhabiting many countries, they live mainly in West Africa and northern parts of Central Africa, but also in South Sudan, Darfur, and regions near the Red Sea coast in Sudan. The approximate number of Fula people is unknown due to clashing definitions regarding Fula ethnicity. Various estimates put the figure between 25 and 40 million people worldwide. The Fulani, migrant Arabs, and Hausa people have taken some influences from each other's cultures. The Fulani are traditionally nomadic, pastoralist trading people. They herd cattle, goats, and sheep across the vast dry hinterlands of their domain, keeping somewhat separate from the local agricultural populations. They are the largest nomadic ethnic group in the world and inhabit several territories over an area larger in size than the continental United States. The pastoral lifestyle of the herders' tribe makes it complicated for a non-member to date or marry a Fulani woman. Nyao Tribe. Nyao is a secret society of the Chiwa, an ethnic group of the Bantu peoples from Central and Southern Africa. The Nyao Society consists of initiated members of the Chiwa and Nyanja people, forming the cosmology or indigenous religion of the people. Initiations are separate for men and for women, with different knowledge learned and with different ritual roles in the society according to gender and seniority. Only initiates are considered to be mature and members of the Nyao. The Chiwa believe that life exists within their ancestors and those not yet born as well as the living. Each dancer represents a special character relating to the mask or animal structure he wears. The Zilombo, wild animals, are large constructions that cover the entire body and mostly represent animals, and the masks worn over the face are primarily ancestral spirits. The secrecy behind the Nyao incorporates coded language, riddles, metaphor, myths, and singing. Dancing Tribe Yemen. Known as a war dance, Bara is the most popular folkloric dance in Yemen, which is varied according to area and tribes. Among the different types of Bara are the Hamdani, Tihami, Harithi, Yafi'i, and Maribi, but each type is distinguished by its own music and motion's speed. Yemenis are generally hospitable people who value close relationships with members of their family and community. God and family are considered the most important aspects of their traditional society. Many Yemenis take pride in their country's dedication to Islam. With all of the challenges facing Yemen, what stands out for others who have lived among Yemenis tribes, as well as in urban environments, is the robust moral code, respect for the legal process, egalitarianism, and the flexibility to meet changing conditions. These provide Yemeni with a social capital that can give them the strength to emerge intact from the shocks coming at them from all sides. Himba Tribe. They are the Ova Himba, a semi-nomadic pastoral tribe of northern Namibia. Despite their resilience, the Himba seem unable to slow their surrender to the modernization of the country. And now come new challenges linked to climate change. The tribe's women are the symbol of the Himba way of life. The women cover their bodies with red powder. They adorn themselves with handmade jewelry and use mud to style their hair. The red tone of her skin comes from otzia, an ochre pigment used to cleanse her skin and protect it from the harsh climate. Adult Himba women also use otzia paste to cover their braided hair. Learning the traditional way of braiding and texturing their hair is an essential task for all young Himba women. Despite the Himba tribe being one of the most well-preserved in Africa, their young girls are starting to feel the call of modernity. When a Himba family moves away, their hut remains empty. The traditional Himba hut appears quite simple at first. However, the mixture of wood, grass, and mud used to build the huts has provided protection from the severe climate for thousands of years. The Ngunis of Swaziland. Nguni people are a group of closely related Bantu ethnic groups native to South Africa, with offshoots in neighboring countries in southern Africa. Many tribes and clans in KwaZulu-Natal are said to have been forcibly united under Shaka Zulu. Shaka Zulu's political organization was efficient in integrating conquered tribes, partly by the age regiments where men from different villages bonded with each other. Within the Nguni nations, the clan, based on male ancestry, formed the highest social unit. Each clan was led by a chieftain. Influential men tried to achieve independence by creating their own clans. The power of a chieftain often depended on how well he could hold his clan together. From about 1800, the rise of the Zulu clan of the Nguni and the consequent Mfecane that accompanied the expansion of the Zulus under Shaka helped to drive a process of an alliance between and consolidation among many of the smaller clans. Ngunis may be Christians, practitioners of African traditional religions, or members of forms of Christianity modified within the traditional African values. Which tribe fascinates you the most? Have you ever met any indigenous tribe? Let us know your comments below. Like always, if you enjoyed it, be sure to give us a big thumbs up and leave us some love in the comments section. To keep up to date with all of our awesome videos, be sure to hit subscribe and turn your notifications on to never miss a thing. Until next time, do take good care of yourself.